of their products. So, Emma.
Thank you, Andy. Anybody got any help? So, as Andy says, we look after owners' information for Jaguar Land Rover. And it's not just for Jaguar Land Rover. It's an evidence-based process that we've developed to look at appropriate solutions that give a voice, listening and understanding what end users and customers have to say about products, and acting to make sure we've got information solutions that support customer satisfaction with products and services. So we've developed this process that engages with stakeholders internally within businesses and looks at data sources, listening to the customer and end users to target information. Typically, a stakeholder map that we've defined looks at product launch teams, engages with product launch teams, quality teams, product leaders, launch planning teams, market research to understand what it is that we can target to support product information, training, customer liaison centres, and evaluation teams of products. That's the internal stakeholders, but what have we done to make sure we're listening to sources of information? In this particular case, we're looking at automotive. So there's instances where roadside is being called, people are calling the AA, I can't actually turn my vehicle on. Well, it's actually because you don't really know how to start your vehicle because it's an automatic. And there are technologies doing this, and the customers are understanding there is a bit of a gap. So it's what we're doing to listen to the product quality information and data, the research clinic data, and information that customers are feeding back to organisations through social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, to say what it is that they're finding difficult, what they're not understanding with technology. So the Help Me programme, as any containment risk identified, looks at whether or not they should take action as a business, and if they do, what information solution should be identified. And that's where we come in with our expertise to say, well, actually, dependent on the red flag areas that's identified, we can update owners' information handbooks, quick start guides, handover of vehicles at dealerships, the training of those dealers, but actually we've looked at instructional videos that have been a key success for us. I'll just show you an example of what an instructional video looks like. This is the latest Range Rover Sport. What's happened?
Sounds better, Francis. Can you be quiet?
I think we're having a few sound technical issues.
We are having technical challenges with TV. We probably need an owner's memo.
Yes, we didn't write that. To that.
This video will show you the basics of the BSM
Where there's a will.
including the closing vehicle sensing feature and how to disable and re-enable BSM. The BSM system is an aid only, helping you to change lanes more efficiently. It does not replace the need to correctly use the mirrors and to drive safely. BSM activates when you're travelling forwards at more than 6 miles per hour or 10 kilometers per hour. Before reaching this speed, the system runs a self-check indicated by an amber dot in each of the exterior mirrors. BSM is most effective when driving on multi-lane highways. The area monitored is approximately 6 meters or 20 feet behind the vehicle and 2.5 meters or 8.2 feet to either side, the typical width of a carriageway lane. When a vehicle is in your blind spot, you'll see an amber icon illuminated in the mirror to the same side as the overtaking vehicle, warning you of the potential danger. The warning
Thanks, Andy. I think we get the... So that just gives you a bit of a demonstration of an instructional video, and Andy will take you through some data and statistics around the engagement of graphics and video and how the human brain responds to that. But for now, this is talking about the process of setting the scene to direct what assets should be created. And ideally, products should be engineered to be intuitive. But again, as technology is rocketing, the human understanding needs information to support it. So as part of this process in the Help Me programme, we have influenced businesses to review their design standards and provide valuable feedback to make change happen to products in the first place, so that it doesn't actually get out to market, that we're not sweeping up non-intuitive features with product information. So, we've spoken about product information around handbooks and quick start guides. We've looked at instructional videos that have been sat on websites, and we've got a printed manual. I don't know how many people have looked at their printed manual in their glove box. So, yeah. Okay, a few. So, what we've done as a solution, and we're going to take you through the journey of how technology can support product information. We have had a case study where we've introduced a QR tag onto a key fob. Obviously, this is my F-type key fob. Not an F-type key, unfortunately. Where we've started to bridge the gap of printed material to digital, to start that journey, and Andy Head will take you through the next stage of the journey. But just to briefly show you what we've started to introduce, and obviously it depends on the maturity of an organisation, of what steps they want to take to either jump or to make stages of the leap of digital information. So there should and could be a staged and phased approach. So this is the F-type user guide. Is that you driving it, Andy? Which will take you to a landing platform where you'll be able to navigate a web browser that makes the book come alive. It's got marketing material on there. It's also got our instructional videos, how-to videos. Help me understand my new car. This is the bridge of that gap. So I've taken you through one instructional video. This again is another instructional video. So please feel free to look at instructional videos online. But the results are staggering. When we look at the QR tags, just in 1 month, of the retail sales for F-type, there was 65% of those that were scanned using the QR tag on the key fob. What we've also done is selected those areas that we've taken as sources of information and put them contextually within the owner's handbook to make sure that these red flag areas that we've listened through our process that the customer feels they need additional support with, we've put them contextually within the handbook, and they're also visible on YouTube. That's 81% of views using YouTube of instructional videos. Not really sure, because it's not dynamic, the handbook, of how many views that handbook page had, but it actually starts to support an evidence base, the digital strategy. So to talk about digital strategy, I'm going to hand you over to Andrew Head, who'll be able to tell you more.
Thanks, Emma. That's a presentation that we've made to a number of customers over probably the last 18 months. The common thing that we find when talking about customers is
a lot more avenues for us, especially within graphics and animations, the area that I'm from. CGI is used more and more today in film and TV, marketing campaigns. And today we're now seeing it fall into technical documentation as well. There's two reasons that it's now possible that we can do this with technical documentation budgets as opposed to big marketing budgets. It's becoming very efficient. For example, this image that you're seeing here, which looks better on my laptop, I promise you, is created using CAD data, so engineering CAD data. So we're not doing any work to that upfront modelling. We're just taking what the engineers have created and then applying materials, putting it in the studio, whatever we need. The other part of that is then when updates are required, model year updates, for example, design changes, we can quickly and efficiently update videos, animations, stills for our documentation. The animations that Emma showed earlier are all created now using CGI. There is little bits of marketing video incorporated, but this is becoming less and less as this has become more efficient. And the second reason for using it in technical documentation are some of these reasons here. A visual strategy is very important. As you can see, some of the stats there, visual aids in the classroom improve learning by up to 400%. 90% of that comes to the brain visually, and the brain processes visual information 600,000 times faster than text. Now, that says to me, and what Andy spoke about, the reams and reams of text, can we actually reduce a lot of that text with imagery, with animations that are explicit, they show you what to do. We've also found with some of our customers and where they obviously are global and have different levels that they have to train at. So in some emerging markets where knowledge is limited, explicit instructions help improve the learning. Okay, so let's put on CGI. Oh yeah, so if we could quickly go on to this one. Sorry, the animation that we've got here of some of the technical videos that we're producing today. That's not plugged in very well. Oh. Is there any sound on that? Oh no, I don't think there is actually. This runs for a little bit, but essentially what it also opens the door up to, as opposed to conventional video, is that we can show technical products in a new way. If this just clicks on. So looking under the skin, there's also a voiceover of this. So yes. Sorry? Never mind. Yeah, so it just opens up to a complete new way of demonstrating complex products. Okay. Thank you. You're in, Andy.
Okay, I'm just going to leave that playing in the background. So, yeah, converting technical content, textual content into...
Okay. Does everybody know what augmented reality is? Good. That's a good start because I've got a definition of it. However, it's going to be easier if I just show you, I think. Just knock on a slide there. So, as a company, we've been looking at what role can augmented reality play in technical communications. We've identified 4 very distinct areas that we feel it has a strong role to play. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples today. And kind of these areas have been paired off with, so owner's literature service information. We see AR being a navigation tool, and very much in a product marketing, e-learning environment, a visualization presentation. Today in the marketplace, there is some AR apps for owners. This example here from Audi, Ecos Info, is a 2D tracking software which looks at symbols within the vehicle, and then will take you directly to information relative to that. I'm going to show you an example that we have here, we've created at SEMCON. This one gives, it's the same in theory, however this gives a much bigger overview, so the user can almost have no prior knowledge of what they're looking for. It will just give information hotspots over the vehicle. Sorry, I'm not plugged in, so yeah, I will plug into that. We hoped for this event that we would be able to have a dashboard of a Volvo in here, and I could show you how this works in vehicle. However, that didn't pan out in the end. So I'm going to show you how it works. This uses a very new technology within AR. It is a rapidly developing technology. This is using 3D tracking, so it's actually we use the CAD data again, the engineering data, and the measurements from that to align the points of information. So I'll show you, this is actually from a flat image. So essentially how the concept works, if you watch the screen there, the user would sit inside their vehicle, and when they open up their app, and this takes the hotspot concept one step further, we feel. And then if we go in and we select one of the hotspots, it then takes us to the relevant section. And again, linking to...
A thumb wheel makes it easy to navigate the menus in the infotainment system with the hands firmly on the steering wheel.
So just... So what's the benefits of this? Obviously, I've just discussed increased user experience, so customers' satisfaction, so they can quickly resolve the issues they're having or the information they're finding. Enables visual navigation, so replacing index text searches, so people don't have to have prior knowledge of what that button is to then search for that button to then find the information on that button. Obviously, we talked a bit about the move into digital, so reduce production distribution costs of printed books. Improve the content utilization, so video, images, much more rich information for the customer. And also, as Anders just showed about the Logis platform, this will just enhance that and deploy with the native apps. We've got several other areas that we're looking at as well within the training environment. This is the launch of the Nissan X-Trail in China, where they use augmented reality to launch the new vehicle and show some of the new features on it. Again, looking under the skin of what the Nissan can do. We have some demonstrations, not on this scale, but we have some demonstrations that we have upstairs on our booth here that if anyone's interested in having a play with that, they can come up and have a look at it, but you can download it yourself. Andy will be here for the next day, all day tomorrow, so anybody who's got interest in AR, just grab Andy and have a shout. We also, on the wall, the big wall, the banner behind our display is also an augmented reality wall. So Andy, again, you can use your own device and go up to that and play and have a look at how augmented reality works. Okay, thank you.
Working now. Excellent. Okay, so I hope in this last 30 minutes that we did convey what we intended to convey, to talk to you about the integration of social media, how we learn from all of that dialogue, and how we strategise the creation and distribution of content in the digital arena. Does anybody have any questions or comments they'd like to ask us? Lady at the back.
I'm interested to know, with cars with a lot of sort of manufacturing situations, you may have several versions of the same thing, so a model with particular features, the high-end version, the low-end version. Have you had to manage any of that? So this model has got this slightly different thing about it that I need
Yeah.
About the content or the visually content.
Well, both really, because if the content doesn't match the visuals, then
Yeah.
that's potentially confusing. But I can see how it would be quite difficult to do something so sophisticated, but with content that's potentially variable.
It's generic. There has to be a policy applied, as is it with marketing.
Yeah.
So left-hand drive vehicles that are shown, not right-hand drive, because it's the majority. That's the way it's handled. Really, it takes the same strategy and approach as what marketing do. But there's all, with a lot of the product information, the manuals, we do the biggest feature set, and obviously there are caveats that you may not have taken that feature, so it might not be representative, but we are looking at going to VIN search, so you'll be able to either put your VIN plate in or your registration plate, and it will understand exactly what features you've taken. So yeah, really good question. It is a bit of a challenge, and we will get there. Thanks.
You talked about the navigation being hotspot proof, and that's fine if you want to know what a particular control on the dashboard is for. But what if you've got the opposite problem? You want to know how do I raise my bonnet, and I have no idea what the control is. How do you find that information?
Entirely up to you. Do you want to take it?
We supplement the hotspot navigation with FAQs, with quick start guide, and actually for some customers they want to retain an index. Now for us, scrolling through the index on one of these, it's not as effective, it's not as intuitive, but yes, if you have a specific search term that you want to find the answer for, then you can find it in the index. What we're also doing now, and this really touches on Anna's area, where we're talking about the content and we're talking about the use of the metadata, is that the web platform and the social media platform capture all of the search terminology, all of the questions that people are embedding into the websites. We then track their path through the platform to try and identify what it was that they were actually looking for, and then create our own conclusions as to what the terminology should be, and then we add that new terminology to the database. So again, it's very much a learning experience. It's not something that we yet have found a way to strategize for in advance. That's all about the data. So again, it's all about that social media and that interaction with the customer and learning from what they're looking for. Again, very, very interesting question. Gentleman there.
Yeah, well, I had two questions, but one of them was back. But the other one is the brain slide. The figures you have on that.
Yep.
Can you share your references with that? Because those numbers look a little bit like conjecture. I'm not saying they're not right. I'm not saying that the video is not great.
Personally, didn't create the slide, but I know it's got references put against them.
I tell you what we could do. If you're interested, if you want to come to our booth, we'll give you a card at the end of this session. And this slide was actually created by a head of graphics in Sweden. So we'll question him as to where he's. Yeah. We'll question him as to what the source data was, because if you're not sure those numbers make sense, I'd actually like to know whether you're right or not. Because the next time we tell somebody about it, I'd really like to be a bit more confident if you feel it's not quite right. So yeah, we'll follow that up for you. Anybody else, gentlemen there?
Just wondered whether any of the feedback you're getting from the research you're doing on the difficulties people find with modern cars, do the manufacturers take that on board, or does it ever feed back to the company? Because if people are finding it harder and harder to start their cars, it may be that it's not more technical documentation that's needed, it's
a better designed car.
Absolutely, that's exactly the intention of the Houghton programme. It is to make sure that engineering and design we are influencing change and making sure that systems are more intuitive and that it is being fed back to exactly what it's down.
I think we've got time for one last question before we fill up one session.
Lady at the front, and then Paul can speak last.
You just ignored it.
I know. What can I do?
Do you have a studio where now you're taking publications that will produce the new content? And how do you deal with professional voices and eventually translation?
Related to voiceovers, the voiceovers especially, with a lot of our clients, we work with their brand and communications team, and they will usually have a voice of whatever for their product. So we'll have a named one. We work with translation providers, some who might be here today, with the voiceovers, and then they go out to all the NSCs, so all the local markets for translation. However, we are looking very much at text-to-speech at the moment. It's obviously quite a big cost for these companies to have the professional voiceovers in each market. We try and reduce them as much as possible with voiceovers. But yes, text-to-speech is hopefully the next step for us, where we'll be able to reduce costs and reduce translation as well. Sorry? Definitely quicker, yes. It is a challenge. Especially with some of the training stuff, with certain ones we'll do subtitling, and that suffices for training, but customer-facing assets, they don't like to go that. They like to be market-specific.
The question I have was, is there something unique about the car industry that makes it particularly suitable for this type of advance in tech comms? Or have you already started thinking about what other sectors? Because obviously you've got a very, very specific range of examples there. So does that range of examples imply that they're the only way, the only environment in which you've applied these solutions yet? Or are there other industries, other combinations of technology and people that you think is very exciting?
Good question. We did discuss whether we were a little bit too automotive for this presentation. We've used automotive as a reference case because we actually have more assets in the UK that we produce for automotive. Around about 90% of our business in the UK is automotive. So that's the reason for such a car focus for us. And at the end of the day, we're car people. But the tools, the techniques, the platform, all of the assets, the learning journey through the social network, we see no limits as to the market appeal that those tools will have, or the industries that could use some of what we've learned in the automotive sector. We also find in automotive, because of the complexity of the vehicle, an average motor vehicle these days has 50 computers on board, which is just staggeringly complex. But if we can provide solutions to something that complicated, we can put that solution almost anywhere. Yeah, I'm going to get the red card. Are we done? Do we have time for more questions? No more questions? We have to break. Can I just make one final comment? If anybody has any more questions, we are upstairs on the mezzanine level. And before you leave, as a thank you for attending the seminar, we have a little gift for each of you, so make sure you pick it up on your way out of the door. Thank you.
All right. Well, could you just join me in thanking Andrew, Emma, and Emma?
Emma and Emma.
Presentation, I got your name on.